Dale H. Ballard was a pioneer in the development and manufacturing of disposable medical devices. His needleless intravenous catheter, disposable surgical mask, foaming soap, tracheal devices, and other medical products have significantly contributed to the health industry. He was a master at bringing together people, ideas, and engineering to produce innovative solutions. Affectionately called Mr. B by many of his employees, Mr. Ballard employed thousands over the course of his business career. His concern for every employee was eclipsed only by his acumen for understanding the field of medical manufacturing. He began and eventually sold two highly successful companies, Deseret Pharmaceutical and Ballard Medical Products. Yet despite his business accomplishments, he remained a man deeply committed to simple values and genuine concern for others.
Dale Ballard was truly an out-of-the-cast American original.
He created the medical device industry in Utah.
One of his greatest strengths was the ability to identify a profitable idea.
The medical field has very greatly been improved by Dale Ballard.
If he thought it was a great idea, he'd just take the risk, and you can't be a good businessman unless you're a big risk taker.
On Monday morning meetings, he always started out with a poker game.
He would have Norm Butterfield cash the check. He'd put it in his desk in $100 bills, and he'd give it out to people.
If he heard of anyone having a challenge from a flat tire to things that happened in their homes, he'd call him up in his office and he'd give them $100 bills.
One of his employees' house burned down, and he bought him a new one.
He was just loyal to his employees and took good care of them.
It built a rapport with the employees that amazed me.
My dad was a man who really focused on organizing people and motivating people.
He loved it when somebody in his company would have enough stock options to make $1 million.
He would go out to his farm and pick corn and hand it out to all the employees when they left the building.
He would say, I will never move this company out of Draper or the country because these people made this company great.
Ballard Medical was able to approve and move projects through the pipeline more quickly.
He had all of the functions of the company in one roof. His shipping, his sterility, building the product. He had his hand on knowing what was happening with his company.
Anybody could talk to him. The nurse could say, I think you should do this with a product. And he would go right down to research and development and say, let's make this happen.
It wasn't off-site. It was there where he could see it. He knew how it functioned.
Dad was bigger than life. When he walked into a room, he was the room. And he didn't mean to be, it's just how he was.
He didn't like the limelight.
He could control, with his presence, a room.
He would gather a bunch of people together and motivate and organize them. And that was his strength.
He had high integrity.
He believed in the handshake deal. His word was his bond.
He trusted people, and a lot of us don't have that attribute.
Every year, Mr. Ballard would take salaried employees on fishing trips.
Dale was the king of the fishermen. He loved to fish.
Fishing trips at Ballard Medical became legendary.
When I was a senior in high school, we'd leave at 5 in the morning, fish the Weber River for an hour, and then he'd drop me off at high school. And that was what father does that. You know, that was terrific.
He would take my kids out and say, let's sneak a watermelon. And of course it's their watermelon, but and he'd pick a nice ripe watermelon and then drop it on the ground, and they'd sit down there and eat the heart out.
Wherever he went and was introduced, there were people who knew who he was because of what he was able to accomplish in his businesses.
Everybody loved him.
Dale Ballard's contribution directly led to the emergence of the entire medical device technological infrastructure in Utah.
There is not a medical business in the state of Utah particularly. I would say almost in a lot of the countries that have not heard about Dale Ballard.